You look very mysterious right now. Very mysterious. I only see half your face while drinking out of a red cup,
Drinking my tea.
drinking your tea.
Teacup.
That's your morning preparation for the podcast. Drink some tea,
I like to
get
get my
energized.
vocal cords together. You know what I'm saying? These you know how like singers got like exercises they do. Comedians, we need some more vocal exercises.
Yeah, comedians, they need to get spoons full of honey. Is that the move right there? Spoons full of honey and swallow that before getting on stage.
I feel like it's gonna make your spit thick. You know, like when you eat like sugar, your spit be all thick. You know what I'm talking about? I can't be on stage with the yuck mouth. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. That sounds disgusting, man. I kind of wish you
Wait,
didn't say that.
Proper Ebonics.
Bro, I had a wild morning.
uh-oh.
I had a morning, man. And first off, welcome to Proper Ebonics. Bro, I made a fool out of myself.
What
So I was
happened?
like, all right, so we're having the podcast. I want to prep up. I want to fuel a little bit, get in preparation for that. So I'm like, let me go down to the coffee shop, the farmhouse in Downingtown. Shout out to them. I was like, I'm gonna like get like a little bit of a breakfast sandwich and some coffee. And like I go through the drive-through and I'm having a pretty good rapport with the person there that's like taking the order, all being friendly. She's like all smiling and all that stuff. It's like, oh, it's like a cute rapport sort of thing. And then just as she's handing me my order, I sneeze like a big sneeze. Like there's like modest sneezes. This is like a sneeze. Like I had to look away. And as she's handing me the thing, I was like, I can't look you in the face right now because I know that there's snot all over my face. And I took the order just like this, like, oh, thank you so much. And then she's like, have a good day. And I looked up, and as I was looking up, I could feel like it was all over my nose. I was like, and I saw her face, and I was like, oh goodness. So that was a little rough exchange. So I'm working on -1 right now. So I'm hoping to get myself up to like a at least a 9.
I love it how your bad morning is your nose itching.
It wasn't actually like bad, but it was just like, oh man, this is a good report. It's a nice Saturday. I'm getting my order and then sneeze all over the place in front of this cute girl. But that's all right.
Oh, that's what it is, because she was cute. I get it now.
Hey, yeah, she was cute. It'd be a little humiliating, whatever. But it was like, oh wow, yeah, this is like it enhances the moment, I suppose.
Because if she was ugly, you'd be doing all kinds of noises. You wouldn't even care. You'd be like,
Oh man, your boy doesn't use that type of terms, man. Your boy's not out here
what type of
referring
term?
people ugly and all that stuff, man.
Why not?
As someone who grew up feeling as if they were ugly in some ways, I'm very sensitive to the term ugly. It's like, what do we define as ugly? And do we define it strictly towards physical traits?
Ugly. Hey, look, producer Pat said you're triggered.
Yeah, actually, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, granted,
All right, look.
things changed. Things changed, most definitely. Um, there's a, you ever hear of the ugly duckling syndrome?
Yeah.
Essentially that. I'm sure it was like I was a fine, handsome young little boy, and things worked out. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like referring to people as ugly.
Isn't the ugly duckling was just like because one duck was black?
That was not the ugly duckling syndrome. Made for
Isn't
some
that
people how they internalize it, supposedly, but
so? What is it then? Wasn't like the ugly duckling story about like a bunch of white ducks and then one was like black or something?
that may be a story. I've never heard that one. That's a wild one. Was that on BET? I did not hear that one. The ugly duckling syndrome, though, that's a phenomenon where like maybe you grew up feeling insecure, or not feeling great about how you look, and later, even if you're like a supermodel, or Kirk, you may have like some insecurities that carry on from childhood. Um, can't say it's too strong with me, sort of thing. I don't want this to sound like, oh, I'm insecure about looks, because obviously, come on. But when you say if like you're a kid and you feel a certain way about your looks, maybe you feel like you're overweight or you're self-conscious about your hair, or in my case, you're walking down Fordham Road and kids in your class would yell out, "Hey, the devil," because your eyebrow did a thing where it went up. And same some cases, like in my family, where they're all hot. All my family members were hot growing up. I was the non-hot one.
God,
Like they,
you gotta pick a better word. You could say like they were attractive or they got
no,
like
yo, they're hot.
confidence.
They're hot.
They're hot. How did somebody that you want, bro? You gotta stop saying that. You can't be like, yo, my cousin's hot. No, she's attractive, or people want her. You gotta don't use hot, man.
Yeah, shouts to my cousin Kimmy. But I don't want my family like that. But no, like they was in terms of like how people would talk to them. Sure, attractive, all that stuff. But as a kid, yeah, it was very much like, damn, why are they so hot? Why am I not so hot? But um, yeah, there when anyway, when you have something like that, people may later on refer to that as like the ugly duckling syndrome. So like you have like these things as a kid, and then later in life, even if you are looking like a supermodel or this and that, you may carry some of that with you. So in what I'm getting at is I just don't necessarily like deeming people as ugly.
Got you. I do. Um, I feel like so to me, what ugly is that I learned is all about symmetry. When one side of your face isn't symmetrical, but the other side of your face that makes you ugly. That's simply what I'm saying. That's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
Scientifically, no, scientifically, that's what people say too. Like symmetry is like the marker of beauty. That's
Yeah,
when
it's
they
fine. I get it. If your eyes are up here, you know, it's so cool. But scientifically, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't love yourself or somebody shouldn't love you. I'm saying like I'm just saying like
I guess no, I get self righteous. Like Pat said, I get triggered. So no, I'll you go ahead.
and the ugly duckling thing. That's what I was talking about, bro. Like the ugly duckling. Yeah, I know it wasn't tripping. Every time I seen the story, it was like a bunch of one color duck, and then the ugly duck was always like a black or a brown. And I was just like, is they ugly or are they just racist? You know, like
I
what's
know.
like you see, you see, y'all see that? So all
But
bunch of yellow ducks and then a brown duck.
the yellow duck, they look like they're bullying the brown duck.
Yeah, they so
I don't care for that. That's wild.
that's the behind them. That's the clan. That's the duck clan.
The Ku Ducks clan. That's a tongue twister.
Who duck clan?
Two Ducks clan. That's wild. You ever feel like the brown duckling, Alan?
What? Yeah. Are you kidding me? I've been in so many white spaces where I've been the only black person.
Yeah.
Yes, but all the time. Yeah,
Mm.
I know you have. I know.
Yeah, man. That's ever since moving to Collegeville in the fifth grade. Yes, that was the first time I recognized like, oh, I'm different. Or that was a trippy experience.
Real quick, did you experience like when you first moved to there? Did you like experience racism when you first got there? Like that, you know what I mean? Like were they like, oh, look at the little black kid? Like, did
Yeah,
you experience it?
not necessarily in the like most malicious way. When I
Yeah.
first came there, it was just uh constant comments about me being black. Or like, oh, you're used to seeing or hearing gunshots because you're from the Bronx, sort of thing. So it was a lot of that. And yeah, I know, right? I'm sure I did not help. I'm sure I did not help with that situation. Like walking into math class, booyaka, booyaka. Why does he have a red bandana on his right side? Uh, no, it probably didn't help with that. Yeah, there's a little bit of that as a
A little bit
kid,
of
more so as a high
little,
school.
little bit of bullying, you would say?
Uh, yeah, yeah, a little bit with that. I would say
Yeah.
bullying for different reasons too, in
Yeah.
middle school and all that. And that's something that I would say, we see in comedy. That's still a thing that happens. Like people think that
Yeah.
bullying's regulated to childhood. Not the case. No, there's adult bullying. Pat, if you could play the adult bullying music. Yeah, man. Have you encountered this? And for those listening, a lot of times in the comedy world, whether it be the open mic scene or national headliner scene, there are forums of excluding people and reducing people for various reasons in the comedy world. Alan, have you run into this at all in your time in comedy?
Of course. Women, people in the LGBTQ community, all they be getting bullied. They get uh they get a lack of opportunities because of who they are. Even black people. Like, I mean, I'm not like so for me, like I don't get bullied, but like people be racist. So like yeah, this is the I think the world we live in, there's bullies in the world, and comedy is just a small sliver of the world that we're in. So it's not gonna be like, well, this is comedy. This is we're exempt from no. Like what you see going on in the world goes on in comedy. And there is bullying. There's also funny level bullying. Like I know funny people that bully people that aren't that funny. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you
That's
see
a
it's like this little open micer here. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that always I definitely see that, and it's interesting to see it with comedy. It always feels like people in comedy are the ones that maybe have been bullied in their life, or like they have certain traits that like you would think would be conducive to not feeling like they're on the highest level. But it's just interesting when you seeing what people do with the power that they get.
boy, do I have a story to tell you.
Oh
Oh,
damn.
I've encountered the most power hungry, insecure comedian I've ever seen in my life recently,
Damn, I heard the anger in
bro.
your voice with that one.
Because it really pissed me off to the
Oh
point
damn.
where I got that feeling inside of me that in the past I couldn't control. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
oh my goodness.
And so
You sound like
I went
Randy Orton right now. Oh my god.
I'm getting fired up right now. I'm getting fired up thinking about it. And so look, so I go to this open mic, right? Not even open mic. I go to this show. I go to a show just like I always do, popping up at different independently produced shows by comedians so I can introduce myself and
Right.
possibly get on future shows. You know, that's just a game. So I go to this one show. The main host isn't there, but the person that was there, they told me they were like, if you want to get on this show, you got to come and support our open mic. But I was like, there's one audience member here. Like, well, you want me to put in a bunch of I didn't say that to her, but I was like, I thought to myself, there was literally one audience member, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll play your game. I'll go to your open mic. So the next week, go to the open mic. Open mic start, the flyers say open mic start at 8 o'clock. I walk in at 8:02, walk upstairs. There's a host on the mic and a bunch of comedians sitting down. And he goes, sorry, you're late. I didn't think he was talking to me. I didn't think he was talking to me, bro. I just kept walking up the steps. He was like, yeah, this is how comedians learn. And I was like,
Bro.
oh, you're talking. I was like, oh, I'm late. It's 8:02. The flyer says, yeah, this is how you have. This is the way that most comedians learn. You have to be here. Literally, my
Uh,
stomach got that butterfly feeling in my stomach, and I was like, I'm about to put my hands on this guy or say something to this guy that I shouldn't say. But I was like, this is comedy. I've done this before with open mic hosts. I'm not going down this path again. I was like, I just said, okay. I walked away. I said, okay. I walked away. I went to a comedy club where I ended up getting a guest spot. So it's kind of like I walked away. This guy, though, I followed their page. I used to follow their page on Instagram. 2 days later, he posted a picture of a comedian, tagged them, and said, this comedian so and so was booked on our show for the last time because he was making fun of the room. And I was
uh,
like, who? I was like, who is this guy? Like, this guy has
Jeez.
complete control issues. Like, the
Yeah.
comedian made fun of the room, so you're not going to book him again. The
And
comedian
then
walked in 2 minutes late, so he can't perform at the open mic. Like, who are you, bro? I never even heard of this dude or seen him.
was it
Like,
Philadelphia or New York?
in New York.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's and to go out to make the effort to make a post and tag the person. It's I think a lot of people just get something out of that of like I don't know if you want to call it necessarily power or like just I think some people they think like oh we're doing a good job at like regulating a scene like we're regulating rules in comedy sort of thing like there are rules in
Comedy
comedy and
club,
we're the ones enforcing it.
open mic comedy rules? What? Bro, listen, Kirk, I literally sat outside. I think I changed my sneakers because I keep my sneakers in my car sometimes. So I changed my sneakers and I went in. I'm like, bro, you telling me because I put my Air Maxes on, I can't perform now? You know what I mean? Like, like
Yeah.
what are you talking about? I think it's complete power, bro. To tell someone, like, I couldn't imagine any comedian ever being like, yo, you're 2 minutes late. I mean, I've been late to shows. Like, you talking about keeping late to open mic?
Yeah,
Like,
to tell anyone the idea of like this is how you're supposed to learn or what was it how they phrased it.
this is how comedians learn. that they can't be
Uh,
late to the mic.
yeah,
This
that's a wild thing to say to someone.
this is how you learn you now have an enemy for life.
It's
I don't rock the ball. This is the thing. Like I never seen him. I won't ever see him again. He runs this little room that he loves, and he has an open mic in, and I know one he's going to be stuck there for the rest of his life. Go ahead and do that, bro. You're obviously not happy. It's bullying by posting this guy's. If you post my picture online and say something negative about it, you got to see me in person, bro. Like I'm pulling up. What? That's
yeah.
bullying. Bullying.
How do you feel when you see it with others? I saw a one this week that seemed pretty major. It looked like it was based like a Philadelphia thing, where someone posted about another comic or former comics like comedy teaching classes, kind of like as like I think you know which one I'm referring to, and like called by their full name and all that. I don't know if they were necessarily tagged in it, but what do you think of ones like that where it was like, oh, this is like kind of like you mentioned before, like, oh, it's like humorous in terms like it's like a good joke, but at the same time, it's is it a form of bullying?
Both are true. Yes and yes. It's a
Yeah,
good joke. It was funny. Things are funny that are wrong.
right.
So like you shouldn't tag nobody. You shouldn't put nobody's name on there unless you want some smoke. You know what I mean? Like if you like if that person's father pulled up, like would you like you? That's the kind of type time you want. Because like if somebody posts my daughter name online and you a dude, I'm pulling up. I'm someone has to have. You know what I mean? So that's bullying. Post somebody's name. I think that you could have went about that and not said their name. You could have been like for whatever I'm gonna get for to a comedy class taught by somebody who I think shouldn't teach comedy class. You ain't
Right.
gotta.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's always interesting because I'm sure there's context behind it. Even just reading off the comments, it's like, oh, I feel like there's some like background behind this, whereas maybe like personal vendettas and such. But that was one where like, when you see a lot of those, that one was just explicit of like, oh wow, that's directly the person's name, and we're adding them on a public forum. And that's in a lot of ways, I'm sure, yeah, that's bullying in comedy.
Yeah, the problem with that is everybody outside of the situation doesn't know the context of it. So it's kind of like y'all may have talked about it, joked about it, but we don't know what's going on. Like somebody may think that you literally bullying a woman. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you gotta be careful online with
Right.
that. So it is what it is. Women don't be feeling protected nowadays and stuff like that. That's why what's going on in the news recently with Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez finally going to trial after like 2 years. When she got shot in her foot. Have you been? I know you've been keeping up like day to day with this trial, and you know exactly what's going
Of
on, right?
course, of course, of course. I have some bullet points, some opinions. I have a PowerPoint that I plan on pulling up. Um, yeah, but I feel overprepared for it, so I don't want to be condescending to the audience. I'll let you explain what's happening on with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez.
Not over prepared.
I've been up
So
all
look,
night.
so we all know like 2 years ago, Meg Thee Stallion was shot in her foot. She said that Tory Lanez shot her in her foot or whatever, and now they finally going to trial. And the things that are happening in the trial are very weird. They're very weird because what's going on. Megan Thee Stallion's like ex best friend is like involved in this because she was there that night in the car with them, and
Ex best
what's been,
friend.
huh?
You said ex best friend.
Yes.
That's why when there's a friend dispute within the whole shooting, that's a whole. I feel like that's
So
a wild mix to it.
what I guess what I gather, I'm not gonna get too deep into the weeds because I don't know a lot about it, but I thought it was very interesting. Something that we should talk about is
I'll
that
fact check you if anything. Don't worry, I will fact check you.
you were the stenographer. That's why you know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Meg Thee Stallion's friend was in the car, but what's going on now is Meg Thee Stallion's friend was supposed to testify. She went
Mm,
on. She went on the stand talking about something. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. She not answering no questions, no nothing like that. And
really?
and and then Tory Lane's lawyers came out and said that they're trying to make it seem like she shot Megan, and they
Ooh.
and they saying that maybe that she wanted to shoot Megan because her and Meg Thee Stallion shared a lot of sexual interest in dudes. Like they both were with Tory Lanez, they both were with the baby, they both were with like all these people. So like
I don't know.
so this is the part I want to talk about. It went from like this trial to find out Tory Lanez is guilty to find like discussing Meg Thee Stallion's body count. Like
Oh,
it
I did see that was a part of it of like I guess they had her on trial of like saying like have you ever slept with Tory Lanez, and then it was a matter of like I guess it being denied, and then the lawyer really pushing to find out if it was true or not, and then at some point a pinky toe was shot. That's my gathering of it all.
like like this I don't understand. What does that who who does that I don't get it, bro. Like did he shoot her or not? What they got to do who she had sex with? Now she out here got to not defend her body count or defend who she talks to or things like that. But it's just weird to see all black men, weird to see all the people on Tory Lane's side because they think Meg Thee Stallion is loose.
Yeah,
Like
but I
it
think
don't
that's
make.
a th-
Go ahead.
I think that's the thing that a lot of lawyers do, and just people in general. Like, all right, so if you have a woman that is accusing someone of something, and the person's like, "Yo, I didn't do that." A lot of times, they'll put the person's sexuality, like the woman's sexuality, on trial because then it's like, "Oh, well, did you do this or that, or have you slept with this amount of people?" And I think because of conditioning, a lot of times it's like there may be, I don't know, like hesitation or like maybe just feel like, oh, why do I even need to voice that? And it's easier to put something like that in question for a woman, it feels like. Um, Easier, and mind the word what I'm saying when it's easier. I feel like uh, when you when you start talking about like body counts and all that, I feel like that's when it's easier to get people to place focus on that versus like, oh, this is something that the bigger issue is like someone got shot here.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a strategy to cast doubt. I feel that's used often with a lot of women, or more so against women.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that's the case, but it's just crazy. They can be like, well, Megan Thee Stallion can be a prostitute. She could live and work in the red light district in Amsterdam. It doesn't matter. If somebody shot her, they shot her. Like what doesn't matter. Like
It's like,
you know what I mean?
well, now because if they have that strategy, it's like, oh, well, if you said that you didn't, and we're able to prove that you did, now we're questioning your word, and if we're questioning your word, then how true are these allegations? It feels like that's kind of what I was getting at before. It feels like
Yeah,
that's kind of the angle that not just in court, but a lot of people take, particularly
yeah,
with women. I'm not trying to like virtue signal or anything like that. It's just it feels like that's just an observation.
yeah. I just wish they could find Tory Lanez do one lie, and then they could find out he's lying about everything else. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate how that works. It's just like the
Yeah,
times they. I feel like recently the culture and everybody's been on this protect black women thing, but then like at every turn they don't. You know what I mean? It's
I
crazy.
think a lot of people's go to is to not protect and to uh kind of prone a little bit, uh, try to pull things out of a lot of women. It feels like I think there's a trust issue in general in society when it comes to uh, this is not necessarily my view, but I feel like there's a trust thing. There's a trust thing with women in society, and I actually just got off a call with this too, where like I feel like it feels like as a whole, people don't trust women,
So you think when you say people, you mean men, or you mean men and women don't trust women?
men and women. I feel like as a whole, it's like, hey, we want to protect women, protect black women, and we have all like these slogans to do so, which is cool. It's an effort, but it feels like just based off observations and stories like this, and just the story that I was just hearing from my buddy there and all that. It's just people there. They're, women are more in question, particularly when it comes to like their sexuality too, and like sexual history. And people seemingly get more up in arms about it and are more prone to put women on whether figurative trial or literal trial because of it.
I
Does
could
that resonate at all?
I could 100% with certainty tell you that women least trust men less than they do trust each other. Does that make sense? Like there's not a woman that's like, well, we don't trust women more than we don't trust men.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
don't know.
not a
I feel like I hear a lot of like I feel like I hear a lot of women talk about like women too, though. I mean, maybe it's just like those cases stand out because it's always like, oh, that it's interesting that you would have that you would have that disposition against like another woman sort of thing. But no, I'm sure if we looked at the numbers, I'm sure there's more women that are more so questioning of dudes than women.
same. So I also think that men trust men less than they trust women. So I think that your statement, I can't rock with the everyone trusts women less than men. I think I'm not leaving my children with a man. Like
Mm.
I would leave my children with a stranger woman than I would a stranger man any day.
I think it depends on a different level of trust. So yeah, like something like that, like different sort of roles, like babysitter or like who's going to take care of children. Then yeah, I think there's definitely more trust with women. And I'm talking about society. But when it comes to uh sexual history or like sexual liberation, yeah, I think there's more women are more in question than men as a whole, even down to this Tory Lanez thing. Tory Lanez gonna be doing sleeping with left, right, sleeping with Megan's friend, it sounds like, but we're not focusing on that. We're focusing on Megan Thee Stallion and her body count and what her and her friend had some sort of complications with.
Yeah, yeah. I think that we're definitely focused on the wrong, wrong stuff. But I think that society dead ass doesn't trust men across the board. Sexually, they don't trust us either. There's not too
Yeah.
many female sex predators. You know what I mean? So it's not like, yeah, I think men are just untrustworthy across the board. I think that society doesn't trust men, but there are things in society where they are going to attack the woman based on their sexual background. That's just what it is.
Right.
You know, unfortunately.
I'm First, Pat, you may have to delete all this. Every time where like I'm like, oh, let me explain a view of like how I think society sees things, and I'm like, oh man, does that come across like I see it that way?
No, you're
Um,
saying you're saying that it's not your view. You said it multiple times. We hear you. This is not the views of Kirk. He's saying what he thinks people think. That's all.
and my well, we're gonna transition into one too because it kind of ties into it. When you froze up, I was saying how a lot of times I feel like we treat each other like each other's therapists, where we're just like saying things, and then later on we're like, oh yeah, that's going to be on a podcast later on, maybe not broadcast, but um, yeah, I don't even know if I should be talking about that one. I got some fresh news from my buddy regarding his relationship status and information that he gathered from his now ex partner
Mm,
just last night. This particular friend, which is going to go into one of our topics,
yeah.
um, this friend and I, we've gone on trips before, and we have a trip to. We're planning on going to Las Vegas in January.
Oh, that's next month.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's coming up close. Um, I wanted to talk to you about this idea of vacation jitters.
Mm.
Um, have you ever had, whether it be a planned trip with friends or maybe just something you're doing solo, and you have like it's a trip, it's supposed to be like this ideal, like fun thing and a stress free. Have you ever had jitters regarding a vacation and what may have caused them, and how did you navigate working around those jitters?
Bro, every time I go on vacation, like I stress about forgetting something.
Really?
Like it's so dumb. Like I'm good. Like to fix that, lists. Like when I'm going away, I write lists. When I leave, I write lists when I'm coming home. Like make sure I got everything important: wallet, keys, phone. Like I need those things. You know what I mean? Um, I'm also. It sounds crazy coming from me. Like I'm like nervous to fly. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like I don't like turbulence. Me and turbulence got a love hate relationship. Like I know what turbulence is, but when it happens, I don't like it. To prepare for that, you probably catch me at the bar at the airport. You know what I mean?
Oh really?
Or doing my thing before I even get to the airport. You know what I mean?
That helps. That
That hmm that
I
helps a lot. Like, yeah,
I don't know, man. Those the turbulence is wild. Turbulence is like roller coasters gone wild for me. That I don't care for it. I never had like really really bad turbulence, but I've been in some situations where it's like, all right, we're this is like rocking for like 2 minutes now. This is the captain may need to make some more sort of announcement. I don't know, like we could like pause the plane. Maybe we should slow the plane down. It sounds maybe we're going too fast. So this is a
bro,
maybe take it easy.
bro, I had turbulence so bad one time. Like, people on the plane were crying.
Yeah.
Like,
Were
it
you one
like
of the people?
no, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of like froze, kind of like. I mean, like this is like I can't do anything. Like, if this is it, like the plane like dropped off the sky a little bit, like it, like
Oh,
down. I
yeah.
was like you were like, I felt like you would go like on a roller coaster, like on a hill. You like
It was like
you
during
feel
Park the
that.
Dominator, where just keeps dropping, then going back up, sort of thing. Yeah.
That's what it was like. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that's turbulence, forgetting things. Um, my hotel, bro. Like, I get nervous about cleanliness of hotels, but I
Uh,
also am cheap, so it's kind of like
it's like, what's
I'm a
the nicest 2-star option that I could get?
right. That's me, yo. So like, I'm good for like going and checking the sheets, like checking my pillow, making sure like no bed bugs, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But like, just I feel like once I get there, I don't really don't unpack really. Um, take my shoes off, then I'm good. I feel like I can relax now. Um, yeah, once
That's the
I find out
travel
where to,
part for you. It's the actual like mostly the travel part, but not the actual vacation. Like once you're there, you're dandy.
yeah, like the travel is what gives me the actual vacation, the chilling, being by the pool, being on the beach or wherever. I love that part. Yeah, but it's the
Yeah.
travel for me.
Yeah, no, I hear that. That's usually the case on my end. Like it's more so like the logistics of getting it all done. But even then, it's like sometimes I have fun with it. Of like, okay, like I know I'm doing this and I get to plan it and I get to do all that. And then find activities once I'm there. I don't really mind that as much. I had something unique with this one though, where I had a lot of hesitation about agreeing to this trip. Whereas
I
like me, my friend, another friend, originally we were going to go out there for a UFC thing, but then with timing, we're just kind of going there now. And yeah, I think I just had like a lot of connotations about like Las Vegas and just kind of where I'm at right now. It didn't really seem like the most appealing thing. Bro, I was literally going to call you. Like it's like I was on the fence for like a week. Um and just kind of hearing your take on it. But yeah, I think I just had like a lot of different connotations. It just didn't really excite me as much. You know, when you go on a vacation, you want it to be like, oh, I'm taking a lot of time off. It's going to be maybe a pricey endeavor. You want to be like excited about it, sort of thing.
yeah
And it took a while for me to like build excitement for it. I'm there now after looking
yeah
up a bunch of Las Vegas videos and seeing that there's more to it than like
gambling.
nightclubs.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's much more to it and all that stuff and things that I'm personally looking forward to. Um, it was just the combination of not having the excitement as much. My two friends being on demon time. Now, before I was like, my one friend was like, "Oh, well, I'm also in a relationship, so it's going to be like we're going to be doing a lot of things that are not necessarily just single guy shenanigans." So I was like, "Oh, cool."
yo,
But now he's on this, so it's like, oh, all right, well, it's fine. I still have things that I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be fun. But yeah, there's definitely a little bit of hesitation beyond the travel element.
yeah. And so I never been to Vegas. Probably 8 years ago, I think all my friends went,
Yeah,
and I didn't go because I had to work. They were on demon time. I'll never forget. I had woke up to go to work one morning. They sent me a video. They was in there wilding with this. Hey, yo, like,
oh,
I don't think I can say it on camera. Like,
oh goodness.
they was in that joint wilding. I'll tell you off camera, but listen, they was wilding in that joint. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think that there are a lot of things to do in Vegas other than wild out and do things you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? There's also a scene, the comedy scene too, if you want to pop up somewhere. So yeah, I think you're gonna have fun, man. I think that it's a. I'm jealous. I'm really jealous. I wanna go to Vegas. You're gonna have a great time. You got to
Bro, I
go to
wish
the
you could
casinos.
come. I wish
I wish
when I was like on the hesitation of like, oh man, maybe I should like hold off on this and like hit up Alan and Pat and see if they want to go to Canada. That was a legitimate thought. Like they're like, oh, that would be kind of a cool thing too. I don't know why I have Canada in my head so much. One day I'll be there. But yeah, it would be kind of cool of like obviously the friends I'm going with, they're cool. Shouts my I don't want to say his name now, given the situation I just mentioned with that. But like, well, I consider him a brother, like one of my closest friends. I just they're gonna be a little bit maybe on a different time than I am. That's totally
yeah.
fine. There are things to do out there. Meow Wolf Museum. I found like there's this thing where you could like feed lions. I don't know if it's too pricey, I may not do it, but the idea of feeding a lion's pretty cool. Um, there's a bunch of stuff out there.
You can go see Usher.
Yeah, Usher has a residency in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I heard it's like crazy good too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that could be cool. Um, yeah, that's fuck. Now I'm like stressed about Vegas again. Damn
No,
it.
you're good, bro. You're
It's
going. When are you going? When are you going?
uh the end of January. Yeah, so we got the Airbnb. We just gotta book the ideal flights and all that. And I'm again, it kind of comes down to choices. I'm making the choice to go. It could be the thing where it's like maybe not the best, but it could be fun as well. I just yeah, I well it's
You're gonna have so much
yeah,
fun.
I know that too. It's just I think just recounting it again, it's like ah, geez, that's I forgot about that element of it. Um, yeah, I know like yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
I think you're just thinking about TV Vegas. I think you're just thinking about like the strip. Like it's more than
Yeah,
one street in Vegas. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You're gonna
that's
have
producer Pat says I was looking up libraries in Las Vegas. Very true. That's, uh,
bro. If I see you in Las Vegas in a library, sit in a library on a computer next to a slot machine, I'm gonna crack up.
um, Proper Ebonics listeners, or just Alan, if there's anyone out there that wants to join that maybe won't be on Demon Time, let us know. I wouldn't mind having a non-Demon Time partner there.
If I could, I would, but I got a trip to Georgia in January. Going to see my mom, and well, my mom's actually up here right now, but going to see my sister Martin Luther King weekend. So I can't make it the end of.
It's all good, man.
You're gonna have fun, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I don't know if there's one thing I got to look out for and be careful of while I'm in Las Vegas. It's fentanyl. There's a I keep hearing see ever left and right. I keep hearing about fentanyl. It's wild.
No,
I don't know if you saw this. They came out with a vaccine, or are coming out with a vaccine for fentanyl because it's become that prevalent.
that's crazy. Just don't do drugs.
Well, that's the thing. Like so, like obviously, stay away from fentanyl and all that stuff. But like fentanyl's been like sneaking into other things.
Right.
Like
Don't do those other. That's what I'm saying. Don't do those other things.
no, I'm talking about like vitamins. There's not a
Oh,
lot of
oh.
cases of like fentanyl sneaking into vitamins. I may have been making
Y'all
an
go. Y'all going
exaggeration.
to. Y'all going to help. Y'all put Flintstone vitamins.
I know that's ridiculous. Oh goodness, it's well. There's you always see like those clips of like cops looking for drugs in situations like they're like dealing with like coke and stuff. They find it, and then like just from the touch of it, they touch a little bit of fentanyl, and then like they end up like overdosing.
Yeah, I seen that lady had did that.
Yeah, recently there's a video going on with like a lady cop. Um, so if it becomes like, because I heard about the vaccine, I was like, I probably don't need a fentanyl vaccine. Like I'm probably not in that scene where I don't think I need X protection. But if it becomes a thing where it's like people are like smearing fentanyl like on outlet shot jeans and all that stuff, like and like if you're like in a J Crew and like there's fentanyl like all over the like flannels, if that becomes a thing, are we going to get the vaccine?
Why is that a thing? Like why? Who
Uh, I
who wasting it?
that is a waste of fentanyl. Well, this I don't know fully like as to why you'll find it like in what was it the fentanyl that was meant to look like candy, the fentanyl twos, the rainbow fentanyl.
Yeah. Yeah,
There,
I don't get it.
I feel like there is a logic behind it. In terms of like the drug lords, I think it's like a lot of it's to kind of ruin or what's the term I'm looking for? Uh, to disassemble. That's probably not the word either, but pretty much to combat other drug lords. Like if you want to like get someone else's block, like you like sneak fentanyl into it, so then their drug cases are kind of like contaminated with the fentanyl. Like
Why would you put it on?
if you want to sabotage someone else's like drug scene, you like get fentanyl into the situation.
And this is something you heard is your hypothesis.
This is a hypothesis.
That seemed like a waste of money. Just kill him.
I mean, that sounds
You know what I
hardcore to
mean?
say
Like,
that way,
what
but
do you, what, why would I? So what, you're telling me that I'm buying a drug, a product, putting it in my competitor's area to hurt their business?
yes,
No,
yes.
I'll just take them out. It's way cheaper.
Man, I don't know. It's yeah, I suppose. I don't. Are we proposing that we kill off the enemies?
You think if you thinking in the mind of a cartel leader or a drug lord or somebody like that, you think they gonna sit here and do all this? No, man, that's not how it works. I don't. I think it's deep. I think it's something different. I don't know. It's just weird that putting fentanyl, like they're putting fentanyl in the heroin, they put fentanyl in the coke. Is fentanyl super cheap? Where they're mixing it with the coke to stretch it? Like,
It's
why would you want to do that? Why would you want to take the? I don't get that. Like,
was
why would you? I see people like even on like weed, they've been putting fentanyl on weed. Like,
um
I just paid 10. Like, you paid $10 for it, you getting weed and fentanyl. So it seems like a deal to me.
well, man, like fentanyl, like the small. I know you're joking, but like the small,
You know what I'm
this,
saying?
well, it's like the smallest dose of it, like that can completely like take someone out. So it's like if you're putting like
Yeah,
just a fraction of that in someone's like whatever major drug that they're trying to put out there, then it kind of contaminates that and the customer base that they're selling to.
they're
That's
dead.
I imagine that's part of it. Bruce Bad, if we could look into like why fentanyl is in some of the other drugs out there, perhaps we'll get an idea of it.
Yeah, because I don't get it. I've been thinking about that for a while. I would assume it's more expensive than these other drugs they're putting it on. Like, what are you getting out of killing off people and mixing drugs that people don't even want? Like, just why don't you just sell fentanyl straight up? Like, I don't get it.
Well, we got to take a fentanyl one-on-one class, just to understand some of the ways that fentanyl works, some of the social factors of fentanyl, and then we'll have to circle back on the next episode to see what we learned and understand why some of the cartels are doing this. In the meantime, we have the option to get a vaccine.
I don't think I want to put no fentanyl in my body. I think I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, that's probably a part of it. You're probably going to put some fentanyl in your body to do it. Um, so, Bruce Pat said fentanyl is often added to other drugs because of its extreme potency, which makes drugs cheaper, more powerful, more addictive, more dangerous.
But how
Uh,
is it cheaper?
because it's more powerful in a way. So it's like, well, I imagine that's the case. Like if it's more powerful, then he added a little bit to it. Fentanyl to increase potency, disguised as highly potent heroin. Many users believe that they are purchasing heroin and actually don't know they are purchasing fentanyl, which often results in overdose deaths.
Right.
Um,
So you're selling someone something for the same price and getting them higher.
yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I
They
legit,
figured out that if the drug addicts figured out that that was fentanyl, they would just buy what they normally buy and take half of it. Like,
huh.
I don't understand.
Yeah, no, I'm not too sure why the fentanyl is out there, but we got to be careful, man. Fentanyl is apparently like I've been hearing about it left and right, and it would be a shame if we're getting Rita's water ice and someone puts fentanyl in it. And with Vegas, I'm going to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be careful whatever I touch. I don't know what's going to have fentanyl on it.
I guess stay away from the gelatis. I don't know.
Oh man, that'd be so annoying. If I'd pet one of the lions that has fentanyl on it. That's
Lions
stink,
walking
man.
around. Lions walking around high, he don't even know it.
Oh goodness.
Oh man.
Man,
So people walking around high don't even know it. Speaking of somebody that was walking around high and didn't know it, came back, it just came back home. Brittany Griner, you know what I'm saying? It's a weird segue, but she was doing the whole little the weed pen. That's what got her in a situation from fentanyl to weed pens. This is that proper Ebonics, baby.
yeah, man. So that is a thing. Brittany Griner, in the prisoner swap, uh, was released last week,
Yeah,
or on American soil. Is she home? Like, is
home,
she
home,
like home or okay? Oh,
home.
that's cool.
She home, home. I seen pictures of her, her friends and family. She done posted on Insta. Once you post on IG, you home, bro.
You're back.
I'm
Once you
back,
post this
baby.
on story, you're back.
Bro, once you post the caption, you back for good. You know what I mean? So
people
she's
people like
here.
get out of jail and like post some of the like the wildest stuff. Like, people always think it's going to be like this crazy heartfelt thing, and sometimes it is, but after a while it becomes like just all dance videos. Like Bobby Shmurda, it's all like these wild dance videos
What's
where
his,
he's
what's
sucking
his,
on
wait.
toes.
Rewind that. What's his last name?
Shmurda.
It's just Schmurder, not
Shmurda.
not Schmurder. You're putting like an A in there. Schmurder.
Bobby Shmurda.
You tell
Shmurda.
you're giving him like things he should do. Bobby, you should murder. Like, no, you should commit crime. Bobby should rob. Man, it's Schmurder. Schmurder. There's no A after the H. Schmurder.
Hey, it has a nice ring to it. He may need to consider that if he wants to kind of remix the rap name a little bit. But Bobby Shmurda, he has a lot of those videos where it's like him dancing to like Leanne Rhymes, and like having like these suits on, and like having these very wild flamboyant parties where it's like, oh, all right, you really are home right now. So
He he did 7 years in jail. 8 years in jail. He came home. He was happy. And he's
yeah,
rich. He got bread. Of course, he's going dancing like that. I don't expect to see Brittany Griner drop a first day out song though. That's not what I expect.
I'm waiting for the TikTok account to be created. That's what I'm waiting for.
Right. She gonna be doing TikTok dances with her. She got a new cut. She cut her locks off and everything. Man.
What
Yeah, she cut her locks. Yeah,
she
man. She
said?
said,
Yeah, that's like, I get that. It's like you go through an experience where you think you're going to be in a Russian jail for 9 years. You get out. It's like, there's a part of me that I want to get rid of.
no, she cut him while she was there.
Oh,
She
damn.
said that she cut him because the harsh, rough winters in Russia.
Oh my gosh.
So like his hair probably was freezing. Like, you know.
Damn,
But
that's a wild thing.
I did
Imagine.
see some people upset because of who that she the swap. They were upset about the actual prisoner that the U.S. had swapped out for her. Talking about
Right.
Victor Boot. Everybody's mad. The Merchant of Death
And that's
was his
the
nickname.
dude's nickname. Uh, Personally, I'm kind of whatever about it. It's like, I didn't really know about this dude. From my understanding, he's been in jail for like 9 years. I don't see it as like, oh man, we're in danger now. I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's not an equivalent trade off, and I think a lot of people are upset about Brittany Griner being released. They're like, they're saying like we're not using our resources, or like the way that we're putting attention into this is like we should be putting attention into someone else. It's just perhaps swap them out. I think some people are just angry too, though. I think like I don't know if you saw, there's a lot of people like openly making fun of her for when she like got convicted.
People hate black women, bro.
Yeah,
That's just what it is. They hate black women and they think it's cool. And why if if Taylor Swift came home for Victor Boot, nobody would say a word.
right.
You know what I mean? Like because it's Brittany Grant. Like I get so mad, man, because like Victor Boot, I think it did 14 years in jail. His nickname is the Merchant of Death. What if he don't even want to do death no more? You know what I mean? Like, what if he done with the game? He want to go retire in a cabin somewhere. They worried about his old crime. Like, bro, he can be done. What if he's done? Then is it a fair trade? You know what I mean? Like, if that, this is what I want to say to those people. If that was your mom, would you want the trade to happen? If that was your mom, you'd be like, oh no, Victor Booth sold guns to a country in Africa 14 years ago. Keep me in jail. Like, no, no, bro. Like, come on, man. People don't even. I don't know, bro. Like it was just so weird. Like if she was a white woman, this would be no backlash about Victor Boot. Because like I said, I've never heard of like you said, I've never heard of this dude. Like
I think,
I've been
yeah,
alive when I was alive when he was out. I never heard of him.
no, I think people just wanted a reason to further reinforce those that felt like kind of indifferent or felt that she was rightfully jailed or were upset that attention was brought to her. This kind of gave them like ammo of like, oh well, this person, he may be dangerous and we're trading her off for him, sort of thing. But you're right. I feel like it's not really going to make that much of a difference. I think it's crazy that she was in there for, could have been in there for 9 years over a cartridge. That said, don't do that. Like, don't, like, you're in a place like Russia. Don't try to risk something like that. Whether you're an NBA star or not, that's kind of a wild thing. But it's just when you're in different countries, man. We've talked about like stories where people go to like North Korea, and like it was that dude that like took the flag in North Korea a few years ago, and like they put him in jail, and then like he was like in a coma, and then ultimately died. He was like a 23-year-old. And it's just like when you go to like different countries, you gotta just be aware of their rules and all that. And some of them aren't going to be as lax or perhaps even just as some of the things that we may have here, and vice versa. There's a lot of things that are kind of wild on the American side. Um, but yeah, by the way how I see it though, like that's crazy thing, and they're kind of using her as an example.
Hmm. Using her example, and it just I'm telling you, every time I see somebody say anything negative about Brittany Griner, I know they hate black women. There's no way you can love black women and be mad that she's free. There's no way.
Yeah,
Be
to be
mad that
mad at
she's
anyone's
free.
free is like it's what a non-violent, like it's what you want someone to spend 9 years in a Russian jail. You want them to do a Dostoevsky because you because they had a cartridge on them. That's crazy to me.
And then they try to cover it up by saying, "Well, look who we released for her." Like, no, you can't stop trying to mask your hate for them with that stupid stuff, bro. You don't even know Victor Booth. Like, bro, just want to go drink vodka for the rest of his life in peace. He don't want to sell guns no more. Like, there's people in your hood selling guns right now.
Yeah.
You ain't saying nothing to them. Come on, man.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Well, shout out to Brittany Griner. I'll check out her TikTok later on. She has that. I don't know if she's gonna. I'm assuming she's still in the WNBA.
Yeah, I heard yesterday that said she's gonna play next year.
Damn, that's gonna be a wild comeback.
She'll be dunking with ferocity on them chicks, yo.
It's, with that, I wanted to take some time to get in some suggestions. And what kind of suggestions? I think maybe perhaps some prop suggestions. Let's get some prop suggestions. Before we get into prop suggestions, I'll note that I was sick. I was sick for the first time in like 3 years this week. So the cough that you may be hearing, like I was legitimately, I had a cold, which was bananas.
You ain't never had COVID?
No, not that I
Really?
know of. No,
Oh
I
wow.
yeah, no. There's times where like I thought maybe something, I felt a little bit off, but no. Every time I tested, it was negative, including this time. Tested twice. Um, yeah, it was just I woke up a little bit stuffy, had a cough, and then the next day it was like a work thing where they're gonna have a work meeting. Like people that from my team were flying into the thing. They're gonna do axe throwing and all that. And I had like a 99.1 temperature. And yeah, I was just legitimately sick. But yeah, tested negative. So still getting over that thing, sort of thing. But the cough is going away. That's
Good,
a
good.
prop suggestion. We talk about choices and decision making, as I mentioned with the Las Vegas trip, and kind of like going back and forth with that. My prop suggestion for this one, and if I could, my prop suggestion for this one is going to be if you have some sort of choice that you want to make and you're not too sure about a certain thing, like you're weighing A and B, consider voicing both options. Consider voicing both options. So Alan, I want to give you a situation. Next year, you have the choice to spend a month in North Korea, or you have the option to spend a month in Jamaica. Okay, so those are two options. Maybe you're leaning obviously towards one direction. Um, I want you to try this. Say you want to frame it as in you want to go to both. So in one sentence, I want you to be like, I want to go to Moscow, Russia. And in the other sentence, I want you to frame it as I want to go to Jamaica and see which one feels more natural for you. Which one's easier to say?
I thought you said North Korea. Now we're talking about Russia.
Oh, so okay, let's my bad. So North Korea.
Okay.
I still had Moscow in my head.
I want to go to North Korea. I want to go to Jamaica.
Okay.
They both sound the same to me.
Really,
Look,
one wasn't a little bit natural and more easy to say in
I
terms of
want to I want to go to North Korea. I want to go to Jamaica. No, I think it's the same.
do you want to go to either of these places?
I can't. I really want to go to Jamaica really bad.
Uh well, I say that because in my experience with the Las Vegas one, I had to vocalize it. I had to vocalize it, and perhaps I need to reframe in terms of the exercise for it. But I found that vocalizing it and saying it out loud of like I want to go to Las Vegas versus I don't want to go to Las Vegas and paying attention to like what my body was saying, what was easier for me to do, what took more energy for me to put out there. And then that's ultimately kind of how I came to the conclusion of like what I want to do. I,
You're probably going to go with the one that's a shorter sentence because it's just less to say.
uh, maybe that's a part of it too, but it's I found that it was something like which one did I have an easier time putting out there?
Mhm.
I don't know if like essentially what I was trying to get you to do is like to pretty much throw something out there that is false. Like if you're voicing something that's false that you don't actually want to do, a lot of times it's harder to throw out there. It's harder to say. It feels like you're using more muscles in your mind, using more muscles in your face, your body, versus the one that you actually want to do. It's effortless. You're not putting
Yeah.
much effort into it. It's like, oh, I want to do this versus like, oh yeah, I want to go to Maryland to visit my so and so. Like it takes more effort. So a lot of times, just like if you're having a hard time with making a decision, voice it and see which one is more effortless, and that may help you with decision making. That's my prop suggestion.
I think I will try that. I think that leads into my proper suggestion. So
Hmm.
I will try that. I will try to vocalize things. I think I might. I believe in vocalizing things that I want to do a lot. So
You're
like
a
I'll just be
manifest king.
yeah, I love manifesting, manifest abundance. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can see how listening to how I say something can determine how I move. I can see that. So man, I think that your exercise probably didn't work with me because you had me say two different things as opposed to saying I want to and I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if you did that, I probably would have been able to tell. So yeah, so I think that leads to my proper suggestion. Um, something I did last night. Last night I was talking to my youngest daughter about this. It's about shooting your shot, taking the chance. You miss every shot you don't take.
Hmm.
I was going back and forth about messaging a comedian who I know. They're a pretty well known comedian and they're going on tour. And I just wanted to let them know, like, yo, when you come this way, I'm pulling up on you. Like just want to, but I was going back and forth, like, because normally I just pull up, I don't say anything, but I didn't want to like, I wanted to just give the heads up, like I didn't, like I know I'm gonna come, you know what I mean? So like I want to like give them a heads. I don't know. I just want to be to do follow the right protocol. So pretty much what
Yeah.
I'm saying is like I was going back and forth, like, yo, do I do it? Do I not? I don't want to say anything because if I do say something, I may get denied. Or so pretty much like, I decided like, yo, man, you gotta do it. You have to shoot the shot. If I do not shoot this shot or send this message, then I guarantee myself I won't get whatever I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Period. If I do shoot, there's a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so I sent the message and they left me on red. But I shot the shot, okay? But I shot the shot. That's all that matters. And I'm still gonna pull up. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna pull up.
And bro, just because they had left you on red just off that first night, that doesn't mean it's gonna stay that way. Like
True.
I've been in those situations where it's like some things that you're left on red are just not acknowledged. And then literally like a week later, it's like they give like a full response. A lot of times it's like a Friday night. They may be doing shows, they may have company. they may just not be able to fully give attention to it. It doesn't feel great, but the fact that you put it out there, it's mainly for yourself,
Mm.
sort of thing. And if it puts a seed in their head too of like, oh, okay, well, this person, just a reminder that they are there, and there's that too.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely I'm gonna pull up. But yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, I think that for
You got double
myself,
text. You got you got
no,
like, yeah,
no,
I saw that you saw that. Just in case there's some sort of error, though, I just want to let you know I am going to pull up. P.S. I love you. Maybe
I'm
something
be
like that. Maybe consider that or not.
I double text a comedian, not even like double. Afion Crockett, right? Afion Crockett. I met Afion in LA when I did the ABFF thing in LA, and he said I looked like him with Jay-Z's new hair, right? So like that was so funny to me,
That's
and
funny.
so like I used that, like so I'll like reach out to him and be like, hey, remember you said I look like you? You're gonna be in this area. Can I come through? And he's like,
That
I don't
would
know. I don't know if you see. Look, listen. I messaged him. I emailed him. I bet I would shoot my shot at him hard. That's the homie though. I don't know if he ever seen any of it, but when I see him, I'm gonna bring that story up again so I can laugh at him about it. But that's
damn.
my new thing going to this. I got to start shooting my shot more. Like I feel like I sit back a lot. Like I sit back a lot in hopes that people are like, oh, Alan's here. Alan. No, I got to start shooting more. Like I got to.
Hmm.
I was a shooter. Like when I first started comedy, I was a shooter. Like,
Bang bang.
yo, can I get on this? Can I do that? I'm just like, you know what? If I get back on that, yeah, I'm gonna be good. So
Mm. Yeah.
also, I know you pulled your wand out. I want to pull mine out.
Oh my god. Google doop up. Is that a pogo stick? Is that a children's pogo stick? What kind of spells you making with that, man? In bed before 8:30?
I knew. I just thought it was funny when you pulled your wand out. I was like, what can I pull out?
It's
And there was like a pogo stick right here.
damn, your kids are pogo sticking up in the attic like that? That's kind of wild.
No, no, they're not. It's just where it's at though. They're not poking up here. You can't. The ceiling's too low.
That's
My daughter like 5'9". She'll bang her head.
I need a that is very much like a Kirk move. Like if I had a pogo stick, it would be shaped like a or one if it was shaped like a pogo stick. This one's not a pogo stick. I have yet to give it a name yet or anything like that. But I'm glad that you're on that wave. It's bro,
Oh
they say
yeah.
the streets get kind of crazy out there. Next time I go into the city, I'm going to be in Reading tomorrow. Perhaps I may have to pull up with the wand just in
You talking,
case.
talking about Lancaster?
No, I'm talking about Reading.
Oh, because like it was like in the last 2 weeks in Lancaster, there've been like 5, 6 shootings. Like crazy. And what's going
Damn.
on? Yeah,
How many spells have there been? Have there been a lot of spells?
not enough, obviously.
Damn. Cetus Lapidus, a scuffed at my sneakers. That's when I run into my ops. That's what I'm gonna drop on them. Man,
Like
you ever feel like all your ops are in your mind?
I don't
Like
have no option, bro.
my
I
ops
don't
are
have.
all. I am my op.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you're your own op. I feel that, bro, because I be in my head a lot. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Man. But yeah, this was good though. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was a good note to end on with the pogo stick and the wine. We good on that.
yeah,
But
man. Well, the people they could see us and stuff. If you're listening to this, I've already did the show in Reading, and I'm sure it went dandy. But there's going to be a show in Lidditz, Mickey's Black Box Theater, out of the comedy, out of the box comedy, out
out of the comedy.
of the comedy. It's just going to be all very serious monologues.
Right.
That's going to be on December 30th. Host Audrey Marsh, headlined by David James. It's gonna be fun. So pull up to that. That's gonna be cool. And yeah, few shows in January. If you're in Philly on January, or no, sorry, December 28th, I'll be at Fergie's Off the Leash Comedy. So feel free to come check that out.
Will you?
I will.
I've been thinking about maybe getting on that.
Cool.
No, because yeah. I'm looking at my schedule too. Yeah, so the 28th, I may be in
That's
Philly that night at my
that's a one,
parents.
bro. Pull up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hit up. I might hit up. I gotta confirm with my dad because if he can watch the kids, I'm there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Damn, proper Ebonics on Fergie's.
Yeah,
That's a wild combination right there.
I confirm with my dad today before the football game comes on. No, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow Sunday. Okay, good. I confirm with him today anytime, and
Okay.
then I'll reach out to what's the name who run the show and see. Good. Yeah.
Shout out to Shane. Shout out to Shane.
And O'Connor in the building. Shane never been on here, has he? Has he been on here?
No,
We should get Shane on here.
we may get Shane on here.
Yeah, we gotta get Shane on here. Good dude. Definitely good dude. Very funny.
Damn.
But yeah, maybe next time Shane will be here. Oh, he left.
That's the thing with proper bonics. You never know what you're going to expect. He's the one that left you on red. That's funny.
I wasn't gonna read it out loud.
That's funny. But you don't know what to expect proper bonics. We may have Apion Crawford. We may have Shane O'Connor. We may have live episodes. We may have festivals. All that stuff, man. But make sure to like, subscribe, abide by your spells and such. Be careful if your friends are on demon time, and be respectful.
Be respectful. we're gonna hop out of here on that note.
Oh goodness. All right, guys. We're out. Peace.
Peace.